Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Nagel. I'm the Dean of Science, Business, and Computer Technology here at Moraine Valley Community College. And am excited to be invited to share in the Moraine Reads program. And the book I'm recommending, or I'm going to talk a little bit about here today, is Getting Things Done by David Allen. And it's a little bit different selection than what's been shared so far in the program. It is a business-focused book, so I hope it is appealing to some of our students. Certainly a lot of fiction and nonfiction I've read that has impacted me and left an impression with me. But this is a selection that really has impacted me in the last 10 years on a daily basis. And so I want to talk a little bit about it and perhaps it can help one of you watching it as well. It was written in 2001, and just a couple quick quotes from it because I think they're more applicable now in 2022 than even they were 20 years ago. So the author talks about, again, more from a business perspective of there's too much to work. Many people feel there's too much work to handle and not enough time. That there's that work no longer has clear boundaries, and that people's jobs are always changing. Again, this was written 20 years ago, before the growth of social media, before the growth of handheld devices for email, and before the pandemic, which we now seen an emergence of remote work, where people's lives certainly, or people's jobs certainly changed, and the boundaries have become maybe less clear. And what the book does is provide just a very practical system of how to sort through the overload of information that all of us get in our contemporary society. And the basics of what the author talks about is really helping to set up a time in your workday or even in your personal life where you process that information. And it should be a limited amount of time in your workday or your personal life. And most of your time should be spent acting on that information or enjoying those actions, not just simply going through your email or your social media feed, etc. So in terms of when you actually set that time aside to go through your email or your social media or whatever, however you're gathering information, he talks about 4 different things to think about when you're going through it so that you don't get overwhelmed by that immense amount of information that each of us is taking in on a daily basis. One is just simply dumping the information. So I don't know about you, but probably half of my emails are really not of much use to me. They don't provide me information that will result in any action to me. And so that can be just a quick, get rid of it. The next thing is when you're going through information, if you find something that will take you less than 2 minutes to do, just do it. If it's somebody asking you the cost of something that your organization recently bought, I mean, I can look that up in 2 minutes and I can just quickly reply to them. So just do it if it's going to take less than 2 minutes. If it's going to take more than 2 minutes, you should really set that aside on a list of actions that you're going to do later, or figure out maybe if you're not the right person for it. So one option besides maybe dumping it or just doing it is delegating it. Maybe somebody is better positioned to take care of that request. Maybe the request isn't, I have how much did something cost, but what is our budget projections for next year? Well, that's now a project that has many potential actions, and you should have a list of that project now, of all your projects, and maybe the next action you need to take on it. And maybe part of that action is delegating it to somebody. So you're now generating a list of things that you've delegated that maybe you're waiting for from other people, but then you're also deferring it. You're putting on a list for yourself that maybe you need to do later. In addition to maybe an action list of things you need to do later, or a list of projects that you're waiting on from other people, you also use your calendar as well. So maybe there's a specific date that when you're processing information that's due June 20th. Well, put it on your calendar for June 20th. The important thing that the author really talks about is don't store information in your head. Your brain is best at processing information and thinking through that information. And while it can store it, it's not the best optimal use of your of your energy in that way, or of the brain's functionality. So by kind of creating that space for thinking and doing and limiting the amount of time that you're processing information in a day, you really can optimize your ability to think and do and enjoy. And so, really, reading this book 10 years ago, I was recommended to somebody, one of my colleagues, when I kind of was new to a position where I felt like I was just, where do I even start? This really helped give me a practical way to comb through a bunch of information, give me a system daily that I can check in on, and free up my mind for doing some things that I get more high value from or enjoy more, including reading other books. So even reading a book like Getting Things Done allowed me to kind of to go back to some of the quotes from 2001 when he wrote the book, that give a process like this that's presented in Getting Things Done allows the work to feel like it's not too much to handle, that there is clearer boundaries to your work, and that no matter how my job might change, or my role in any part of my life might change, I have a system that can kind of help me sort through that information and make clear actions so that I can have a clear time to work and be effective, but also a clear time to enjoy the rest of my life. And again, read some of the great books that have been recommended through the Moraine Reads series. So again, a little bit different take on available books out there. So hopefully some of you business students or anybody who's maybe figuring out, how do I sort through all the information in my life and have a practical system to do it effectively. Take a look at Getting Things Done by David Allen. I think even though it was written 20 years ago, it's more relevant than ever. So thank you.